Kamsack was a divisional point on the Canadian Northern Railway and chiefly inhabited by people who worked directly or indirectly for the railway. They were better off financially than members of the surrounding farming community and were keen to support the fledgling Church of England mission in the settlement. An increased Anglican presence in Kamsack and district began with the arrival of the Reverend White, organising missionary for the Diocese of Qu'Appelle in 1906. From spring to fall of that year, services were held in the sample room of the Kamsack Hotel. A parish hall was built and services were held there beginning 4th November 1906. The following year, Sunday school was organised and held there. During spring of 1911, the parish hall was converted into a church with a chancel, Gothic windows and belfry tower added. That same year, a branch of the Women's Auxiliary was formed. In 1911, the church was dedicated to the Holy Trinity. In 1912, a new parish hall was erected, well equipped for holding meetings, social functions of various kinds, and on Sundays for the Sunday school. During the Great War, the hall served as the centre for all patriotic work in the town. Because of an increase in church membership during 1913 to 14, the church was enlarged, a steeple added, and the church interior renovated. During wartime, the steady recruitment of men for service overseas and the movement of men and women to munitions works in central Canada reduced the congregation to half its size. Loss of voluntary giving hurt the Anglican cause, but those who remained continued to pay much of the vicar's stipend, enabling mission work both within the settlement and in the surrounding district to continue. Despite financial difficulties, the congregation was able to see its way to build a vicarage towards the end of the European conflict. Being in a more settled part of the diocese, Kamsack during the 1920s and much of the 30s relied on the support of the diocese to carry out its mission and ministry. The appointment of Reverend Crowther brought spirit and energy not only into parish life but also into the Pelly Deanery of which he was rural dean. Under his leadership, the parish of Kamsack became self-supporting. He provided encouragement and sacramental support to the mission of the bishop's messengers in and around Pelly. The ministry of the messengers in particular provided an essential lifeline to established inhabitants, immigrants, and those who recently left the dried out areas, all struggling to start a new life in the government relief area. No matter the belief held or the language spoken, the messengers, through spiritual help, medical aid, and material assistance, won the hearts of the people in a remarkably short period of time. Despite the demands of nation in a prolonged economic recession and once again at war, the parish of Kamsack kept its rectory status. It was a source of pride, though there was a serious setback in 1944 when a cyclone destroyed the rectory and parish hall. Yet the focus of parish life, the Church of the Holy Trinity, miraculously was not badly damaged. The congregation loyally supported the church, which had just helped them spiritually through a global depression and another world war. There was no question of rebuilding. The post-war years saw the nation gradually entering a period of peace and prosperity. Kamsack, like other Saskatchewan communities, came to experience an improved standard of living. The church likewise witnessed growth in membership and giving. The old church had served its parishioners well, but it was time to make changes. The laying of a cornerstone for a second church occurred in 1961. Close to a decade later, the mortgage was paid off and the church was consecrated in 1970. 1st January 1984, the parish of Whitesand was formed, and in 2018 the parish of Whitesand was disestablished and the parish of Kamsack established in its place. In disestablishing the parish of Whitesand, churches that Kenora and St Andrew's Key Reserve were designated chapels of ease. During its time since the 1950s, Kamsack congregation has remarkably offered a clothing store to people in the community. Every week, clothing was given to people who were in need. That was sustained until 2 years ago, when a community group took over the running of the store. It is remarkable to see how much money was generated, but more importantly, how many people were helped during that long period of supplying clothes. It's remarkable too to see the level of leadership given to the Anglican Church women from this church. And this church also, in support of a locally ordained priest, Nancy Brunt, has continued to prosper and grow.